What's up, Savages? I want to welcome you guys to the podcast. I'm going to do a quick little intro to this one because I feel it deserves it. I had Berlyn Davis on probably in January when we were absolutely having the worst weather in, I don't know, as long as I can remember. There was thunderstorms, there was lightning, there was heavy rain, it was snowing in some areas. It was crazy. It was madness. And so we had bad connection everywhere. And unfortunately, this podcast had some interruptions in it. I took out as much as I could, but there are still some frozen spots. But I didn't want to not get it out there. I think Berlyn is an awesome individual. She's a savage young lady who is out there doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, crushing it in jiu-jitsu tournaments, doing wrestling. This girl is a savage, the badass representative of being a young savage. So I wanted to get that out there to you guys. So yeah, there are some interruptions, there are some freezing spots, and I try to do my best to edit them out, but I wanted to get this to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Sorry for the couple of delays here and there. Berlyn Davis is awesome. I wanted to get this out there. So again, watch it, enjoy it. If you guys ever have any questions, reach out to me. Stay safe, stay savage, stay hard to kill.
And then I started wrestling when I got into high school. I didn't wrestle my freshman year because it was like COVID and there wasn't really anything. So I was focusing on jiu-jitsu still. But no, this is my second year wrestling and I love it. Yeah.
Okay, so now since been doing jiu-jitsu for 9 years, how many medals and how many belts are all behind you right there?
I have no idea. I have 4 belts. One of them's at Fight Strong. Yeah. So I have 2 Naga belts and then I have a small grappling X belt. And then I have no idea how many medals are there.
That's awesome. How long were you doing jiu-jitsu before you started competing?
My first competition I did after 3 months of training, and I just went in there and I just got demolished by everyone. And
Was that
then I waited like a year,
was that in
and
gi or
then I got
no-gi
my
or
first
both?
one. That was no-gi.
Yeah.
It was like a sub fighter tournament, so one of like Russ Mira's ones. It's like
Wow.
one of like the local ones. They're kind of smaller, but they have like not that's like like kids can do like ankle attacks and like attacks and stuff.
Yeah. So then you waited, you said, for like a year before you competed again?
I waited, yeah, like, after my first full year of doing it, I think it was, then I did, an NA tournament, and I think I had, like, 1 or 2 girls in the first tournament I won.
Wow. That's awesome.
Mm.
When did you just compete in the finals in Del Mar?
Yeah, I did. What did I compete in? I competed in 2 divisions, I think, yeah. Yeah, and then I won both of them.
Yeah.
So I had
Awesome.
1 in no-gi and then, like, 5 in gi.
How do you feel when I'm assuming you haven't won them all? How do you feel when you get second, third, or you don't get on the podium at all? How do you deal with that?
So, like, obviously, it'll depend on how I feel like I did myself. So, if I feel like I did my best and I put in my all, then it's like, okay, like, I know what I need to work on. Feel off, and it feels like I went out there and I could have won, then I'll take it a lot harder. So, like, my rest more than 1 season. So, that first loss of the season was, like, really, like, gnarly to me because I felt like I could if I fought her again. So, I
Yeah.
was like, it was just, like, really, like, not set me back, but then, like, made me, like, realize more, like, what I need to work on and go into it better.
Yeah, I asked because I used to do MMA back in the day, and I started competing in
Mm.
jiu-jitsu. I'm 47, so thank you. So I had 2 golds this year, and then I finished 3rd on, this last final one, and, the guy didn't score a point on me. I scored 2 points for the takedown, and then we were hand fighting the whole time. I was in his guard, and I got called for stalling, so he got 2 points, and because he scored 2 points, the last score, he won, and I was
Points for
so
falling?
yeah, I went back because you know how they film or they record the match right
Yeah.
there, and they send it to you later. and I watched it and rewatched it, I was blown away. But the point is, I should take defeat the same way as I take victory. But it's a hard pill to swallow. I don't like losing, and
Yeah.
everybody like I have jiu-jitsu coaches who are very like, yeah, win, win, win. I have others like, well, it's the experience, and you learned a lot out of it. And I'm like, damn it,
Yeah.
it's a lot
There's
more fun
definitely
to
a
fun
big
to
difference.
win. What was that?
So there's definitely like a difference of like coaches and how like they approach like the sport and like winning and losing and stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, you already sound more wise than I do at your young age than I am. I'm still bitter about it, as you can tell. But
Oh yeah, I would be mad at myself, but it's something like I mean, I still like at Worlds, I did Nogi Worlds a few weeks ago and in the finals for the absolute, so like the open weight, and I was just like pissed because like the girl I fought wasn't even good. She was
yeah,
super heavyweight. I got like 3 elbows to the face from like her being on mount. It's like the ref just sat there and like didn't even like call that. But it was like I've beat her at Phoenix Open before, so it was like tough match, but it's just like it was kind of dumb. Like I just got for 5 minutes. I shouldn't have let her got there in the first place.
so yeah, are you still training with Adam over at Fight Strong?
Yeah, I still train with Adam. Not as much right now because it's like wrestling season, so I'm like focused on that. But I've been with Adam like my whole career.
Yeah. How was the transition from jiu-jitsu to wrestling?
The transition was not that hard for me, except like fighting off like don't go on your back.
Yeah.
So like that was hard because I'm a guard player, so I'm always on my back. So like being like taken down and then going to my stomach is weird, but it obviously like if I hadn't done jujitsu, I don't think like I'd be where I am in wrestling. I probably wouldn't even have joined wrestling. So it had a good impact on it because like I already I've competed, like I have I'm aggressive with it and like some of the stuff is similar. So it's like the sport in general like helps each other out for sure.
Yeah. Was that always your goal to start jiu-jitsu and then go into wrestling, or is it something that you wanted to pursue after you were successful in jiu-jitsu?
So I wanted to, like jujitsu is obviously like my number one, and then jujitsu or I did wrestling that helped my jujitsu.
Hmm.
Go to college for wrestling, and like doing that set to back a little bit because like that takes a lot of time, and there's no college, and then wrestling in college as well. So, but my main goal is always just still so wrestling, just kind of helping it, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have any goals of going into MMA or taking it to any other level?
For MMA right now, I'm not like 100% sure if I want because like I've done like boxing on at Fight Strong and stuff, and it's fun. Like I'm going to Thailand some to train there, so like I'm doing like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai there. So
Yeah.
we'll see how I find there, and then we'll probably see, but not this year probably.
Yeah. How is it growing up? You said you're 16 years old. How is it growing up, and what do people think of you being in jiu-jitsu? Because I know Kingston is 9 years old. Some people look at it, is him even being a boy, as an aggressive sport. It's teaching them bad tactics, and it's teaching them, how
Mhm.
they're worried he's gonna be a bully. How did you deal with that growing up, being so successful in jiu-jitsu?
When I was young, I really like talk about it, and I like kept like my like socials away from it.
Mm.
I don't know why. I just didn't like mix it. I wouldn't that I wouldn't mix it, but like as I wrestle for school, so everyone knows, and like people will come up to me and then they'll like get like they think it's cool and stuff, but it's like still like sometimes I'm like I don't know like how to say it, but like I try not to bring it up myself, but other people will, and so usually it's like they know that they can't like say anything bad because they think like I could beat them up. So
Yeah.
it gets to the point where like is like not post it more like on like my like socials, like away from jiu-jitsu, like on my like with all my school friends and like that. Like people are like, oh yeah, don't mess with her, like that, you know.
Yeah. So then that goes to my next question. Have you ever been bullied or have you ever been picked on or find yourself in those situations?
No, I have not. I think it's because of doing jiu-jitsu now and stuff.
Yeah. What would you say are some of the benefits for, because there's a lot of young kids out there who are victims of being bullied or they're, they see, going to school is a tough thing anyway, and they're nervous to start learning
Yeah.
jujitsu or maybe MMA or any kind of martial arts. What would you say to them if they're on the fence of whether it's a good idea or not to pursue it?
I think it's a great idea because like not only like it teaches you like defense, and then it has like discipline, self-discipline, and there's a lot of like other aspects that go into it, like just like being in the environment in general. It's like a safe place, I'd say. Like when I'm on the mat, I feel safe. I'm safe with my teammates, I'm safe with my coaches, and I'm learning something that I enjoy and something that will like benefit me in the long run. And so I always think it's a positive. Like I've tried to get all my friends into it. Some of them have, some of them come and go, but it's like there's a few that will stick to it. But I think sticking to it and even joining is like one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, because I know like I don't even know what I'd be doing if I didn't do it. Like I could be just like another teenager sitting on my or sleeping in, just sitting, going out with my friends whenever I want, coming home whenever, you know. But it
Yeah.
teaches you like there's goals and there's more than just like people in life. You have goals for not just going out and doing whatever.
So you said your dad was, did he train in it or was he a coach, or how was your
Yeah.
father involved and got you into
So
it?
how was he trained for? He trained for like 10 years for jiu-jitsu. So he's a purple belt. He trained at Gia,
Hmm.
and then he's been to Thailand and trained at Tiger Muay Thai like 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
And then so he like has bad arthritis in his wrist. Doesn't do it as much, but like he doesn't jiu-jitsu that much because like he can't even bend his, they don't bend.
He
And
can't
so
bend
it's
his
like hard for
what?
him to do that.
He can't bend his what? You're breaking
He
up.
can't bend his wrists.
Oh, okay.
So like don't like,
Yeah, that's one of the joys of training. I'm old too. I'm 47, so I
mhm.
always have something hurting, something cracking, something this and that. But like
Yeah.
I just posted today on social that I took a week off to let my body heal, and it turns out my body just wants jujitsu because when I went back, I felt so much better. I love it so much that it's just I'm never gonna stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, the injuries definitely take its toll. What significant injuries have you had and had to overcome during your jiu-jitsu and your wrestling?
Um I have like some pains in my wrist, but they come and go, so it's not like I really stopped anything.
Hmm.
And then I had like like the ball of your foot, I had a calcium like buildup, and so I couldn't like bend my toes or anything. So I went to the doctors for that and they put me up for 2 weeks. And so I was out. I think I only lasted like a week and a half, and then I called them up and I was like, I'm fine. But like it comes and goes for that too. Like sometimes it'll hurt, sometimes it won't. And then I don't think I've never like had like bad injuries. Like maybe like my back. I hurt my lower back before and I thought it was healed, and then I did a tournament and then it just was made it worse.
Yeah.
But
What's your
yeah,
longest time you've taken off
nothing
to try to heal?
um a week and a half,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. It's tough.
Because
Like,
there was a there was a duel or a wrestling match coming up and I was like, I need to wrestle in it. So I was like, I'm fine.
yeah. So doctors are always conservative. They're going to tell you when I go to the doctor, they'll say I surf a lot. They're going to say don't surf, don't do jujitsu, don't do MMA, and don't do anything. It's like Well, why do I even pay you all that money just to tell me not to do anything? I mean, that's just I stopped going to the doctors for a lot of my ailments and just say, hey, screw it, I'm going to fight through it.
Yeah.
But you're younger than I am. You can probably listen to the doctors more than I can.
Hmm.
So let's see. Are you still coaching over at Fight Strong, or do you have any? Do you coach anywhere?
I'll coach at Fight Strong in like off season for wrestling. So as soon as like I think it ends in like February, March. So as soon as that ends, then I'll go back there and I'll help coach and everything.
Mm. And did you just get promoted recently? I think I saw on your social media you got promoted.
Um, I think that like last May.
Yeah.
So as soon as I turned 16, or right before I turned 16, I got my blue belt. So my birthday's in May, so like right around May.
Okay. So when you train, how do you focus? Do you focus on no gi maybe one day and then gi the next, or do you mix it up? How is your schedule looking?
So like the classes are like there's two gis and then two no gis a week, so I'll just alternate. But like for like myself, my focus is no gi because I feel like there's more of a future in no gi. Like there's ADCCs, no gi, and everything, and that's obviously like the ultimate goal. Like my like I'll always gi. Gi was my favorite long time, but now it's like now that I'm trying to like mainly focus on no gi.
Yeah. Who are some of your mentors or some of the people that you look up to in the jiu-jitsu and wrestling world?
I look up to the Total a lot. I've trained with them a few times. I like the way I like their like style of jujitsu and stuff.
Hmm.
And then Mason Fowler and who else? Um, it look like like sometimes I'll be into like a people and then look like then I'll be like into someone else for a little bit.
Yeah.
So it all just depends, yeah.
Has any promotions like one or any of those kind of promotions reached out to you yet?
Not I don't know if they can reach out to you. You're 18 for that stuff.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. But like I've done like super fights, like just as like anyone can do those, you know.
Yeah. Would that be something you would wrench? I just watched one or actually both of the Total Brothers on what like a month ago compete. Is that something that you would be interested in competing in?
Yes, I have to compete in that.
Yeah. Do you have sponsors and people who are supporting you right now?
Yeah, so one of my so I've been with for probably like 2 years is Wild Bar. So it's a new good bar, like before, after training, like a good like healthy option. And then I have a few companies like clothing, geese and stuff that I'm in touch with right now. And then I just got a new sponsor, so it's super fresh CBD. So it's like CBD oils and just like stuff to like help my body.
Yeah.
And then I have Assassins who I've been with them probably the longest. So it's like they promote me a lot and then it's just yeah.
Yeah. What are your other hobbies besides, the combat sports? You surf, do you skate? What are your other things that you like to do?
Um I used to surf, I used to skate, but like I'm just worried about getting hurt, especially with skating. But
Yeah.
now like I don't know, I'm into shoes a lot, like Jordans and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably start like flipping. So like when you buy sneakers when they release and then eventually they get expensive and then you sell them for more.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something I want to get into. But it's mainly jiu-jitsu and wrestling. And then taking out hanging out with my friends when I have time. And then spearfishing and like fishing and stuff.
Oh wow. Do you do that out here locally, or do you go somewhere and do the spearfishing?
We have a house in Mexico, so in Baja. And so 2 weeks every summer. That's when I go out. And so just it's like a dive trip, surfing too. But I haven't really started getting into spearfishing, so this summer is definitely something I wanna, like, pick up and, like, get good at,
Yeah.
so
Where's your house in Baja? Because we used to live in Cabo. We just moved back here a year ago, but we go to Cabo all the time.
it's, Bahia Tortuga, so it's, like it's north of Abreos.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So it's, like, halfway.
we love Mexico, and we're thinking about going back now with this weather. I looked at the weather; it's going to be like raining and all this for 10 more days, and I'm over it.
We, like, rarely get weather like this.
I know, but the surf is like 10 to 15 foot coming tomorrow. It should be really big, but you can't go out in it because it's too nasty and stormy. And
Yeah.
well, what would you say to any kids right now? Like, how has I think we kind of went over a little bit about how to get kids into it, but I see your social media and I love it. Like I try to inspire families to get involved in learning self-defense and how to protect themselves. So maybe you can tell your perspective of being a 16-year-old badass competitor. Um, what's the importance, especially for a young lady, of learning to defend yourself and being a protector and the confidence it brings to you, all the things that fighting has benefited to you? What can you tell people about that?
I'd say, um, that it brings, like, a lot of self-confidence, being able to, like, know that you can defend yourself and, like yeah, there's, like you'll go through times when you're, like, if I'm on, like, not doing so good at, like, it, like, if I am not doing as good in tournaments or something, like, it, like, definitely sets you back. It makes it, like, not, like, brings you down, but, like, lowers, like, how you feel. But then you just gotta keep going. It's like consistency is key. Like, obviously, the more you train, the better you are, but I think that, like, the girls' community in jiu-jitsu being as small as it is, like, we definitely need to, like, pick each other up, help each other out, because we could grow it, we can make the sport grow, but it takes, like, to do that. And so, I think that the more people to but I think that it's just, like, we need to be stronger as, like, the girls as a whole, like, in the community of jiu-jitsu, so that
Yeah.
we can help the sport and everything.
Have you ever had to use any of your training in, in a live situation out in the streets or out school or anything?
No, we'll goof around with, like, my friends at and stuff, but it's not like yes.
Yeah. Well, I think because I always promote self-defense as once you know it and once you have the skills, you obviously you never want to get in a confrontation, but the confidence that it builds, like you can tell people who know how to handle themselves, right? You can just go out and go to the get some coffee and say, "Oh, that guy probably knows what they're doing," or "That woman has some confidence. She probably knows what she's doing." So I think for fighting for me and what I try to tell people is, you know, it's not just going in there and fighting and rolling. It's, situational awareness. It just, I think fighting just sharpens all your skills for survival. And I think at 16 years old, you are way ahead of the group. And I love what you're doing. I love seeing you on social media and competing. And obviously, look behind you. You got all those accolades, and it's awesome. So, if people wanted to reach out to you and maybe they had some questions or be inspired by you, how do people find you on social media?
On my Instagram, so it's Berlyn_Davis BJJ, so you guys can all anytime just write me a message or whatever. I go live every once in a while, so you can ask me questions on there too, but a lot through my DMs on Instagram is, like, the main thing.
Okay. Well, Berlin, I thank you very much for coming on. Again, you're a huge inspiration to not only young people, but older people need to watch this and get inspired. And like you said in this, consistency, keep showing up, keep putting in the work, I think is a great message. And again, thank you for coming on, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. See you later. Thank you, Berlin.
Bye.
Bye.